International students, this is for you if you have been in the United States or just came to the United States and you're thinking about options for a green card. This video, I'm going to cover the 3 most basic types of options in 2024 that my clients and I have been talking about who are international students. All right. So let's start. This is only for international students, F1 students, or other types of vocational students. Maybe there's an M1 visa that you came in. We're going to cover what are your options if you actually want to stay in the United States permanently. Okay. Now, international students are here, they're paying universities or colleges tuition, and many of them think about, staying in the United States permanently because they like it here. They're used to what the experience is, especially in New York City, where there's, hundreds of thousands of international students that are coming from all across the world to whether study finance or business or fashion or music, whatever it may be. So if you're an international student, let's get right to it. If you are here on the F1 visa, you have to look to see what your options are related to either family, employment, or some humanitarian way to permanently stay in the United States. So we're going to cover family first. A lot of students who come from overseas, sometimes, they meet somebody, they fall in love, and they think about marriage. So the first option is really marriage-based option, which is adjustment of status. Now, you can only do this if you marry a U.S. citizen, okay? If you get married to a green card holder, the process is longer for adjustment of status to get a green card because, the green card holder is going to have to file the petition. It's going to have to get approved, and you're going to have to wait for the visa availability, and then you can do the adjustment of status. But citizens can file the I-130 and the 485 right away for their international student, their husband and wife. Okay. So that's kind of the first option. All right. Now let's talk about the second option, which a lot of people are more interested in because, some of these students are very young. They're in their 20s, maybe even early 30s and so forth. And they're not really looking to get married right away. So the second option is really employment related. All right. And when I do consultations, I go into detail with my clients about the different employment-based categories that they might be able to qualify. All right. So the first is, related to employment-based categories. You can look them up. They're EB1, EB2, or EB3. Those are usually people that are skilled. They have at least a bachelor's degree. EB2 has a special category, which is EB2 NIW. So a lot of my clients who have master's degrees, MBAs, or PhDs can qualify for that category. And the great thing about the EB2 NIW category is that you can sponsor yourself. You don't have to get a Department of Labor certification. All right. And the EB3 category, that's another type of skilled worker as well. And there's some unskilled workers in there as well. And those, categories, EB1 and EB3 require the company to sponsor you, get Department of Labor approval. So a lot of my clients who say, hey, Mr. Saleem, I'm thinking about this option. I often tell them that, hey, you've got to first look at a company that's willing to do employment sponsorship if you're interested in that path. There's some paths that don't require you to do any, company sponsorship. You could do EB2 NIW. That's a special category, but it's a really tough one. I've worked with clients on it, and usually they have master's degrees or PhDs. If you have a master's or a PhD or you're working on it, talk to me because we could perhaps look into that option for you. All right. Okay. So now the third area, I've started doing a lot of this lately, because I have clients who are international students, whether they're from Haiti, they're from, Sudan, or they're from other parts of the world where there's conflict going on. Like, let's say it's Lebanon. Some of those areas, those people, USCIS has listed and put out either TPS or deferred action. So when the war broke out in Ukraine, I had a Ukrainian international student and I was able to let her stay in the United States past her F1 period and get her temporary protected status, get her a work permit, a social, and stay in the United States and work and support herself. So those are kind of humanitarian aspects. If you're afraid to go back to your country, you can stay here, get a work permit, a social, and sometimes, those people are able to apply for asylum asylum as well. So if you're from a country, you know, whether it's Sierra Leone or Burkina Faso or whatever country you're from, you might be able to apply for asylum if you have a fear of going back to your home country. I won an asylum case for a student, F1 student, just recently. She was afraid to go back because her family had threatened her, told her she was going to be placed in a arranged marriage, and she didn't want to do that. So we were able to help her stay in the United States and get her asylum case approved. And, you know, she's able to apply for a green card this year, and she's now going to become a permanent resident very soon. So that third category is really humanitarian. Now, there's some other options for international students as well. You know, if you can't do the green card options that I talked about, you could look at, let's say, an E2 visa, which is, you know, you're going to do in some investment in the United States, or you could look at the H1 option where a company sponsors you to be a temporary worker. But, you know, again, those are kind of like temporary fixes for you to stay in the United States. You know, and then ultimately you're going to have to figure out what your long-term strategy is. So for many of my clients who are international students, I recommend we set up like a one-on-one consultation with you, look at your entire situation and see what's the best thing for you. Okay, guys, thank you so much.